Yep, I'm not shitting you right here, right now. It is 100% expensive to live here in Hawaii. And look, believe me when I say this, that for someone who has grew up here 26 years in a lifetime, it is really hard and it's getting much more scarier by the day given how expensive things have gotten. And I want to talk about this today because it's been a topic that's been talked about numerous times in the past by many politicians, many social media influencers, and I figured I might as well weigh in my 2 cents of the whole expenses living here in Hawaii and how bad it is. So, I guess to kind of start and how I feel about it, I guess we gotta go based upon like what made me talk about this or what got me noticing that Hawaii living here is getting too expensive. And it's by the simple economics, groceries. Now, I'm pretty sure this has been harped on many, many times by numerous people, but the cost of groceries now in this day and age, the current modern day, is super, super different compared to what it used to be 5, 10, 20 years ago. Again, we're not talking about groceries that cost like $2, $3. We're talking about groceries that now can r- run you up to like $7 to like $12 on average for one specific item. And I will show a few examples in a little bit, but I want to emphasize this pretty clear that living here in Hawaii, despite how expensive it is, despite how struggling it is in general, it's definitely not swaying me away to like move out of here anytime soon. Yes, I mean, if you see my bedroom right here, right now, you would think that, oh, hey, this guy is living off pretty well. He's doing good. Maybe, like, why are you even doing this in the first place? No, that is not the case. Unfortunately, a lot of things you see in my room I was able to buy with my hard earned money, and some of which took literal years for me to even get to begin with. Sometimes even months, like literal months for me to get them. Like for example, some of the figurines that's like in there, like all the Evangelion stuff that you see, all the vinyls, those took years and years to plan, and that was back when I first had a job. My job prior was going to a pizza place that I worked at for a while, and those were how I got some of the items that you see there. And then what you see on the shelf here is essentially what I bought quite recently with a job that's paying much, much higher than minimum wage is getting paid here, right now. So again, if you think as you've been watching me this whole time that I'm like super well off, that I'm financially stable, the sad truth can't be told, man. I'm not financially well off right now. I am struggling. And I want to also emphasize one last thing before I dive into some of the examples here, and that is that I'm okay. I'm doing fine. The whole reason I started this YouTube stuff in the first place is simply because I just want to have fun. I just want to make videos and spread my words and spread my thoughts and feelings of stuff and talk about stuff. Because what better way to pass the time and just get through a bit of sharing my thoughts? You know what I mean? But enough about that. Like again, my point going back to the main topic at hand, Hawaii is really expensive to the point that me buying a house of my own as a single person is ridiculously expensive. And I've even had this notion told to me by a friend recently where even though he's been going by the book, saving his money, making sure he puts everything to his 401k, and doing everything that everyone's been telling him, he is still a long way to go to getting a house of his own because the sad reality is in order to buy a house here in Hawaii, you need to be married or have a partner to do it for you. You can't do it by yourself. And like I said, if you were to type in on Google right here, right now, is Hawaii expensive to live in? Literally, I mean, outside the whole AI shit giving you the answers, it generally will say at the end of the day that it is significantly more expensive to live here in Hawaii than it is somewhere like in California, for example. And there's a lot of factors here that they highlight from housing, imported goods, high utility costs, taxes, and then, of course, when it comes to buying something for yourself and what you need to be financially stable, you need to make a monthly budget of $4,000 to $6,000 a month, which is absolutely ridiculous. It's crazy. That is economically hard and just impossible. To make this much, you literally would have to be working two fucking jobs, and I'm not even joking on that. I have friends now and even family members that are working more than just two jobs. And the high paying jobs that's here in Hawaii that I have noticed for the past 5 to 10 years as I've gotten older, as I graduated from college and going through high school, is literally that you need to either be a doctor or literally someone in like the business service side of things, like accounting stuff and shit. And ultimately, like if you came to do that, then at that point you need to find a way to start your own business. So something as small as like a baking service or a, a auto mechanic service of your own. Like you have to be really financially well off and plan ahead to be aware of this. And again, if you were to go to like cost of living comparisons on like this website here that I just searched up, comparing Hawaii to California for all the small necessities, this literally just breaks down how much cheaper California is compared to Hawaii. From restaurants to groceries to transportation to housing, entertainment and sports, these categories it doesn't cover all categories obviously, but these are just like the main little tip of the iceberg as to why California is cheaper than Hawaii. And this is just one example, mind you. And if we were to scroll down here, you see that paying restaurants in Hawaii is ridiculously expensive here. If you were to go for an inexpensive restaurant, you're paying $28 here in Hawaii. California's $21. Going to fucking McDonald's, you're paying $12.92. California $11.52, which is really small. Really, why would you care, right? But then we get into the grocery section right here, and this is where it gets really sickening. One loaf of bread, $6.91 for Hawaii. California's one is $4. For cheese, $10 for an 8 ounce of cheese, whereas California only pays close to $7. Milk, this is literally the most popular example. 1 gallon of milk here in Hawaii costs over $7 plus. And in California, it's less than that. Eggs, I mean, pretty significant. $7.30 over in California, $4.33. And the examples go on and on and on. And as you see here, like we are here in Hawaii, we just pay significantly more because of the cost of living, the cost of inflation, and all these other factors that really just drives people insane when it comes to trying to save money and do something with their money, unfortunately. And it sucks. It absolutely freaking sucks. And again, as a result of how expensive Hawaii has become, this has unfortunately encouraged a lot of people who have grew up here all their life to essentially move out of Hawaii because it's just too expensive. Why would they want to spend the rest of their life here struggling financially when they could go somewhere like California, for example, where it's a lot cheaper and living conditions there are a lot better? Again, I don't know if that's true. I've never been to California. I never flew in my entire life, but that's just like one of the examples I've heard time and time again from many close friends and family members that would basically leave here so because of how expensive it is. And it sucks. Absolutely freaking sucks. Because honestly, if there is a way to fix the whole reason why Hawaii is expensive in the first place, I wish there was a way they could fix it. But unfortunately, in this current day and age, it just doesn't feel like it's going to happen. Yes, I understand that there are other factors in play and how much they're going to try to do like affordable housing and make Hawaii cheap again and try and roll out that plan. But it feels like it's just a fib. It feels like a bunch of lies because, like, at the end of the day, in this day and age, I've been noticing for the past how many years now, honestly, for the past how many years, I've seen so many people leave and so many outsiders from the mainland or in America coming here to Hawaii to live here and buy houses here because they are financially well off and financially stable. Whereas the people here in Hawaii, it's either they leave this island because this place is just too expensive, or it unfortunately results in them becoming homeless, which is another growing issue that is super well known here in Hawaii and is a topic that I will most likely talk about in a future video. But point being is that it absolutely sucks. I really wish there was a way to fix how expensive Hawaii is, but unfortunately I don't have the answers to that. The only answer I have now at this point for any of my friends, any of my family members that live here in Hawaii is just simply try to live your life to the fullest and try to be wary of like what you spend and change your habits of what you're doing now when it comes to what you're spending, because at the end of the day, if you change your habits and find ways to like save money, then it will come back at you in the more positive sense where it's like, okay, you saved your money towards something really good that's beneficial for you in the future, so something like going out less to go out to restaurants, or just not spending too much on random stuff every now and then, like something like that would be enough to be financially stable here in Hawaii. But again, I'm just speaking out stuff that I think would help, because again, I'm not the guy to be the end all answers on this whole topic. So yeah, unfortunately, I wish that there was a better way to like have a this better answer to this problem, but I don't think it's ever going to be solved anytime soon. And yeah, just want to talk about this a little bit. That's it. I'll see you on the next one. Later.